I bought this house 4.5 years ago. The house and the yard were pretty run down, but I knew I could take that south facing lower level, choked with weeds and dog poop, and create my ultimate West Coast gardening experience.
Hi, I'm Kevin Ramsey, and welcome to Sweet Home Gardening YYJ. With this pandemic, a lot more people are growing food, and I want to provide support and encouragement for this. I really believe in this movement. I grew up with a big garden. Weeding was my childhood labor. I still hate weeding to this day. My intent with this show is to make gardening easier for you, weeding included, providing tips and eventually recipes for you to get the most out of your harvest. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I know enough to share a few pointers.
My garden has 4 levels tiered into a big slope. The bottom level is my main garden, south facing and fully fenced, a perfect garden spot. I just added the greenhouse last year. To start, I just kept it simple dirt and water. Next, I have a squash patch on what used to be a useless and hard to mow hill. I plant squash here because the plants like to tumble down. At the beginning, I kept it simple dirt and water and improved upon it in the years that followed. I have 3 raised beds on level 3 with carrots, strawberries, and blueberries. It's under the oak tree, so it is a bit shady, but I need the space. I have my carrots covered because of an invasive fly that lays eggs in them. Along the rock wall, I've got onions and flowers planted. Level 2 is the trees, the flowers, and the hammock. Gardening is a lot of work. You need somewhere to rest.
Closest to the house, we had these two existing flower beds. So pretty much the first thing I did was pump these up with nutrition, compost, and good soil and get our salad garden growing. I'll go into winter gardening in a later episode, but let me tell you, any time of year, we can walk down here, pick 4 or 5 greens to start a salad, even in the winter. This is my clover point. I hate lawns. What a remarkable waste of water, contributor to pollution and chemicals and pesticides and herbicides. So I've let my lawn go to clover. I don't even know if I'll mow it this year. Do me a favor, if you're being inspired by this show, take a nasty section of lawn and turn it into a food garden. Grow food, not lawns.
While this all looks amazing now, a recurring mantra you'll hear me say is keep it simple. This lower level was the first project and I kept it simple. I used landscaping fabric and plastic to kill the weeds, and then I brought in wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow of quality dirt.
All you need is dirt, seeds and seedlings, and water to get started. Don't wait, don't procrastinate. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just plant it, water it, and protect it. That's the bare essentials of gardening. Protect it. Wind protection is a big issue in my garden. It gets really windy here in June. This is my third attempt at a sturdy pea trellis. The other two have blown over. You have to protect it.
At several areas of the garden, you'll see chicken wire used to protect my seedlings, protection from predators and saboteurs like my cats.
Birds. Now, birds will obviously eat your berries, but there are birds here that eat all kinds of things: beet shoots, chard shoots, even my baby onions. Flocks of quail will come in here and entire crops of seedlings will disappear. You've got to protect your crops. They're cute, they're adorable, beep, 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 rolling around, but here they're predators.
Not to mention these guys. Deer can jump 8 feet easily, so have a good plan for fencing protection. One of the biggest perks of this house was the existing 6-foot backyard fence. I ran another wire 2 feet above it for an 8-foot obstacle. Motion sensor water sprinklers work great too.
Two other important aspects of gardening are flowers to attract the bees and pollinators, and composting. My garden creates a lot of waste, so I combine that with my organic kitchen vegetable waste, and it all ends up here. The way I look at it is all the energy that I take from the garden eventually goes back into the garden in the form of compost. This compost is probably 10% coffee. We put a filter full of coffee in here every day. Coffee is good for the gardener and the garden. Remember that next time you're throwing away a coffee pot. I hope I've inspired you to get some dirt, repurpose some dirt or some nasty lawn, and grow a food garden. Good stable crops to get started with are peas, lettuce, kale, spinach, chard, herbs, berries, beans, and squash. Don't procrastinate getting started. Expect some trial and error, but you can always grow it again next season. That's it for our show. I hope to see you again closer to June when it's warm enough to direct sow or plant our seedlings and seeds directly into the ground. Until then, happy gardening.